You don't want to miss this. The feud between The View and Karoline Leavitt goes back further than most people even realize. From the moment she stepped into the role of Trump spokesperson, the hosts have made it their mission to undermine her, but Leavitt isn't one to back down. She's taken them on time and again, calling out their hypocrisy without holding back. So today we're covering it all, and you won't believe how unfiltered Karoline was when she put them in their place. As always, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this.
Well, first of all, it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump to see that Jake Tapper has consistently
stop this interview if you're going to keep
President
attacking
Trump
my colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop this interview if you continue to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Karoline, thank you very much for your time.
That was so good. So good.
So it all started after CNN's Casey Hunt rudely cut the interview short with Karoline just days before the first presidential debate of last year. And as you can see, Whoopi was livid, celebrating it like she just won a lifetime supply of donuts. Imagine if the roles were reversed, though. I can assure you we'd never hear the end of it. But Whoopi didn't just stop there and continued to mock Levitt.
If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on. Right. That's what you hear.
Yeah.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say, they talk at you, not to you. And that's what she was doing. And she was doing it, and it's not new.
No.
But everybody's hip to you all now.
Yeah.
Well, that one's rich, coming from someone who sits on a show that was basically failing before Trump came along. Let's be real, if it weren't for him and the endless rage bait they push daily, they would be out of a job. They've built their entire platform on screaming about you know who, and anyone who supports him. The moment they try to talk about anything else, the energy drops, the ratings dip, and suddenly they're scrambling for another viral clip. What they do is not political commentary, it is pure performance art designed to rile up their audience and keep them angry enough to tune in the next day. If Trump disappeared from the headlines tomorrow, what would they even talk about? Would Whoopi start giving cooking tips? Would Joy Behar finally take up knitting? We may never know, but Karoline wasn't going to let these vile comments slide and replied with this in another interview.
How do you think voters are going to react when they see something like that on TV?
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help because voters are going to re-elect President Trump back to the White House very soon. And the irony in all of this is that Joe Biden and the Democrats and these ladies on The View constantly say President Trump is the alleged threat to democracy, when in fact they themselves are wishfully thinking that President Trump will be imprisoned when he has not been convicted of any crimes. That is the real threat to democracy. Voters see that, and that's why President Trump continues his dominance in the polls, not just with Republicans and independents, but he's also picking up historic gains with Democrat constituencies such as African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and union workers.
Now keep in mind, this was months before Election Day, and the truer words have not been spoken. Back then, the MSM was trying to convince us that Biden stood a chance against Trump, and some outlets, like The Economist, argued that his chances of re-election were better than they appeared. By the way, I've noticed you haven't liked the video or subscribed to the channel yet, so what are you waiting for? That is the effect of propaganda and living in a bubble. You repeat a lie or a line of thinking so much that you become totally consumed by it and actually start to believe it as if it were undeniable fact. After the elections, Karoline appeared in an interview with her mentor, Kayleigh McEnany, and the way she roasted The View was priceless.
Watching this clip, I couldn't help but think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. But they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years. They likened President Trump to Hitler. They have mocked him. They have shamed him. They have lied about him consistently on their show. And it was a joy to watch them on November the 6th when they realized that 10 tens of millions of Americans do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality.
That is spot on. Their meltdown after the election was nothing short of spectacular. It was like watching a therapy session for people who had just realized the world doesn't work the way they thought it did. Their bubble had been popped and they didn't know how to handle it. But that wasn't just The View, it was the entire left-wing media apparatus. What they failed to understand is that people aren't as easily manipulated as they once were, and the MSM no longer holds a monopoly on information. But Whoopi and Joy didn't get that memo, and this was their reaction right after Karoline's first press briefing.
She's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this.
They just can't handle it. The idea that a younger, sharper woman is not only in a key position, but excelling at it is just too much for them to bear. Plus, she didn't have to play the victim card to get there, it was pure competence. The irony is that they claim to support women in leadership, but never do. Since Karoline isn't on their side, they just resort to petty attacks, desperate to undermine her achievements. I think this segment exposed their lies to the entire world, and to wrap things up, I want you to see this interesting clip that's more relevant than it's ever been.
So I just want to ask for a general characterization. You'd think after Trump got more popular raw vote count than any Republican in the history of presidential politics, won the popular vote, that there would be some press that's eating crow right now. In any of your conversations, do you get a sense that reporters are stepping back and saying, look, he's doing something right, and maybe we need to reassess how we look at this presidency?
I do think a lot of members of the legacy media are realizing that. I thought that was evident at the press conference at Mar-a-Lago this past week, where the questions truly were focused on the issues of the day. And there are a lot of problems plaguing our country and the American people right now.
Exactly. Not all outlets have adjusted to this shift, but they're getting there. For instance, Joy Reid's program got terminated on MSNBC, and I say, good riddance. Her entire show was nothing but a never-ending lecture on identity politics designed to divide the country over conveying meaningful info. It's obvious the old formula of manufactured outrage just isn't working anymore, and people are tired of it, frankly. But I'd love to know your thoughts here, so let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below. And if you want your friends to get their coverage from an independent source like us, please share the video with them. It means so much to us. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.